Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee.
I'm E.
And we're back. So, you'll notice, split screen again.
I know we're not together anymore. No more vacation.
Vacation is over. But it was amazing. And we did get some videos done while we were there, so make sure you guys check those out. You might see some pretty cool scenery. Just pointing that out.
Swiss Alps.
Okay, so of course, the first video that we're giving y'all upon our return has to be a Kardashian video. What is the reason for this video?
Well, we're almost done with the season, and I think I actually need a Kardashian break. Is there such a thing? I don't think so, because they are always bombarding our internets. But regarding the show, we're going to cover right now season 9, season 10, technically premieres tomorrow.
I think you mean episode 9, episode 10.
Well, it feels like a season 10.
It does.
Episode 10 premieres tomorrow or the day after. So we're going to give you videos back to back, and we need the break. But we're going to talk about episode 9. The title is You Ruined Our Family.
Oh my gosh, the drama.
And we'll see why later. All right, so like we do in other videos, we're going to break it down in different sections, go over what happened, then we're going to talk smack or agree. Agree with some things, get philosophical. You know how we are. It depends how we feel. We don't rehearse this, so we don't even know what we're going to say.
No.
Like 99.9% of the time.
True.
All right. So the first section is we're resuming from the last episode where Courtney and Tristan are talking about Chloe and all the things Tristan has done. So if you guys aren't catching the vibe, Courtney ain't with it. And for the first time, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm kind of liking her, but we'll see why. Courtney is quoting something that she saw on TikTok where it says, I'm a narcissist, a sociopath. I have no empathy. I have no feelings. And then she proceeds to ask Tristan if he can relate to that.
Mic drop.
That, I don't know if that was a mic drop, if that was a boombox boom. Shout out to those people who knows what a boombox is. Am I aging myself? I don't know. But that was, a stab. I don't think he knew how to handle her. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Courtney asks if Tristan can relate to that. Tristan says to Courtney that she should definitely feel the way that she feels. If that were his sister, he would feel the same way. So let that marinate. Okay. He says that he wants Chloe to be happy, whatever that might be, and he is supportive of that decision. Again, let that marinate. Courtney asked Tristan what was his ultimate goal, to be together, and if so, what are you doing, to achieve those goals? Not that she's endorsing them to get back together. Tristan says that he wants to be with Chloe, and his ultimate goal is to have his family back as a unit, as one unit, basically living together, how things used to be pre, during, and post cheating. That's what he wants. Courtney says being able to take accountability is always the first step in changing. Also, the kids are watching the actions and not their words. Tristan says that he wants to be a good example for them, but he was basically talking about Tutu, True Thompson, because, he doesn't mention Tatum and the others. He says when the time comes, he wants to talk to True about how he failed them both. Them, meaning True and Chloe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chloe. Courtney says that in their family, the guys are so lucky because, they basically want to keep everyone happy and getting along, one big happy family. And that basically takes priority in the family instead of having boundaries and being supported with those decisions. So let that sink in as well. Courtney said in the confessional that talk is cheap and it's concerning when actions don't match words. Courtney also said that in her family, they normalize the man's behavior and that she doesn't want to show her daughter that that's okay. Forgiveness and grace is okay, but so is having clear boundaries.
Okay.
Dun,
So
dun, dun.
I know that we've been telling Courtney for a couple seasons now, girl, just leave, take a break, get away. You don't need to be on the show if you don't want to be on the show. But and she has been away this season. We have not really seen her. But Courtney deserves the check. She's getting paid for this episode alone. Pay her money. Courtney Kardashian, because I don't know her middle name. Courtney Kardashian.
Marie, why do I know that? I have no idea. Continue.
Courtney Guadalupe Kardashian.
She's not Latina.
I don't care. Right now she is. She's one of my peoples right now.
All right.
She said what we all say and what we all think.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it to his face. So kudos. I'm proud of you. You did that. You the real MVP. Give her all her flowers because, I mean, he is a narcissist. He is all of those things. There's no way he's not. Especially considering the audacity he has to claim that he just wants Chloe to be happy. Sir, then leave. Leave.
You're too revitalized from this vacation. This is way live. I just want you to know.
Courtney's monologue or Courtney's little speech gave me life. And that's pretty much it right now.
Well, okay, guys. So you know that I am not a Courtney fan. I think she is what's a good word for it? She is intolerable in my eyes.
Right.
But in this particular episode, I can really appreciate her feedback. Because if we've watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians and obviously this Hulu rendition of their show, like it's always been like a battle with Kim, or she's unhappy, or she's going through something, or the Scott dilemma, or her dating life. You know, she's always going through something. And especially with Kim, you know, her arguments with her and the rest of her family, like that really like overshadows, I guess, her growth.
Yeah.
She's been having. So in this episode, I think that we see a Courtney who has gone to therapy. You know, this is my observation.
Mm-hmm.
A Courtney who has gone to therapy, like really, you know, embraced it, analyzed it, is living by it, you know, has found her happiness. She's in a whole different space. She articulated well, you know, without, you know, shouting or being mean or being closed-minded. You know, we've seen that Courtney. Yeah. But here, she wasn't taking the shit from Tristan.
No, she
even though he was trying to decorate the shit, she wasn't falling for it. And I can appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, you know, one of the things that we had talked about in other episodes and in other seasons is that Courtney, you know, probably feels a way that she and Chloe don't have, you know, that same sort of dynamic or relationship that they always used to have. But the fact that she's the one that really has like stood her ground and said what everybody's thinking, like, I think that's awesome. I guess the other MVP would be Kendall because she just don't want to talk to him. And girl, I feel like hello. So, you know, it's interesting. Like I think now, considering that we're, you know, several episodes, several weeks deep into all of this, I can to an extent understand why Kim has moved forward, why Kim, you know, has had some whatever sort of relationship with him, as far as, you know, a friendship and all that. But, and even Kylie, like last week's episode, like I can understand Kylie kind of just, you know, burying the hatchet or whatnot. Um, but they all kind of said the same thing, right? They want Chloe to be happy. They want what's best for Chloe. But I felt it from Courtney, like literally felt it. And I think you're absolutely correct. She articulated incredibly well. And she clearly has benefited from therapy in order, to be able to have such a like sage conversation, and not basically like ruin it with, something that just would make her seem, like you said, intolerable. So I appreciate, you know, that whole scene with just her alone and everything she had to say. I'm gonna see if I can insert a clapping sound right now, because I'm gonna go ahead and clap for Courtney. If y'all don't hear it, my bad, it didn't work out.
You
But
clap yourself.
I,
Let's just clap right now.
yes, yes, because she deserves it. She does.
She does. She does. I gotta give her her flowers, because
Exactly.
she,
And that
she
was definitely, something that like I had been looking forward to, and I was excited to see, because it was like, man, like finally, somebody in this family, considering how we've been talking about the rebranding of Tristan this season, considering the way Chris has been like pushing him onto Chloe and even Malika. So yeah,
Mhm.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
you know, and I kind of also saw, with the conversation with Kylie, how each sister does have a different relationship with Tristan.
Yeah.
And it's based on their personalities, how close they are with Chloe,
Yeah.
like whatever they're going through their life, that they have, I guess, accepted Tristan back into their lives and, wants family together. Like, um, Kylie says that she's a very forgiving person, so
Yeah.
obviously she's going to forgive this, maybe not forget.
Yeah.
Kim, we already know that she was going through this whole thing with Kanye. He supposedly defended her, took a daddy role ish
Yeah.
with Saint and them. So, maybe forgiveness could be a little misplaced. It's like, well, he is a good guy here, but he deserves another
Yeah.
chance kind of thing, instead of
Yeah.
writing him off. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of happy Courtney said that. I don't know. I hope next season though they stop with the crap and stop telling Chloe to be with Tristan, because she's over it. We're over it. The apology tour failed.
Oh,
Just like
completely.
this Cody selling of shares. That shit failed.
Definitely. One last thing I'm gonna say, and I was like shocked that she said it, but it's a very self-aware thing in the confessional when she said how they have a tendency to normalize the men's behavior and all that. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
girl.
I feel like
And
she was throwing a little shade to her
right.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've talked about that as well. It's like the way that they put Robert Kardashian on this pedestal. Granted, that's the father, of course, it's understandable, but it's something where we've discussed that because of that, they are in essence continuing to accept and forgive and all that, these different men that have wronged them in so many ways. And so for her to say that, I like, honestly, I was shocked. I was like, did she really just say that right now? I was like, no way. And yeah, so anyway, that was pretty good.
Just to fast forward, like we'll hear about Cece's conversation with Chloe later, but I think that they're so forgiving of the men, but it's really them forgiving Chris. That's like my self analysis for cheating on the dad, because Chris was the one, obviously who started the whole cheating thing with the dad, and we hear later on it was like a big thing. So,
Yeah.
um, Cece was saying, basically before Robert Kardashian died, again, I'm going to say this later, they kind of professed their love to each other. So I
Right.
think that was like her regret. And then it just transcended, all this time, and through the sister, I mean, through her daughters and things, like have these men on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So I think when they forgive the men, it's in essence kind of forgiving herself for doing what she did. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I don't know. Maybe it's far fetched,
No,
but
I can definitely see that, especially when this season alone, Chloe brought that up, you know. How does she feel when she cheated, you know, on Robert? But it's an interesting analysis. I think that's pretty like not far-fetched at all, actually.
all right. So the next section, and this episode was a little jumbled, so I'm gonna skip over some things and relevant stuff. So this next section, in case you didn't know, Courtney is 5 months pregnant, and she's been pregnant throughout this whole show.
Yeah.
So it ain't no surprise to no one, girl. So we see a snippet of Rain making name suggestions. Should I say it?
Do it.
He was like first name these, middle name big, last name nuts. These big nuts.
That is Scott Disick's son, y'all. That is Scott.
I think it's hilarious, you know. So we see Courtney reveal to her sisters that she's pregnant. So we see like a little video about it. Everyone is so happy. Basically, it's a miracle that she's pregnant and having a baby with the love of her life. Let that sink in.
Yup.
Um, and she says that they're going to announce a pregnancy at the LA Blink 182 concert.
Okay, so shout out to Rain Disick
These big.
because he was saying how no, not for the name. He was
Oh.
saying all the things that he was going to be showing, you know, his new sibling, and it was like kind of what, you know, some people would attribute to like boy things or whatnot. And Courtney said, well, what if it's a girl? And Rain said, so I'll do the same thing. Why can't I do the same thing with the girl? And I thought that was so beautiful and so very self-aware for, you know, a child to be like, a boy and a girl can do the same thing. Like, I love that. And so, yeah, of course, I don't think nobody was shocked about Courtney being pregnant the whole season. There was breadcrumbs that they did callbacks to that hello
Mm-hmm.
drinking girl, we know. But I thought it was awesome, you know, just the video of her showing like her sisters and everything. You know, especially given the fertility struggles that she and her husband Travis Barker had in previous seasons. So it was pretty awesome, you know, to see that it was able to happen for them. So yeah, that's exciting. And as we know now, Rocket 13 Barker has been born.
I'm still on these big nuts. That was funny. All right. The next section, we're in New York and it's a Met fitting. Kim is wearing a dress by our favorite designer, or maybe my favorite designer, Schiaparelli. So the dress is made by Schiaparelli, designed by Daniel Roseberry. And so, guys, it took me a couple of days to watch this episode. You know, I'm going to tell you why later. So, Kim says North is very critical of her looks. Daniel said that he heard that North was into the Met look, and North was like, yeah, but it could be a little better. Kanye's protege, Kanye's mini me, Kanye 2.0, move
Yeah.
over Kanye at this point.
Yeah.
Kim said in the confessional that she had John Galliano fitting her for a dress, and North was giving him notes. So that's a warning to Daniel.
Oh,
Kim says that it's such a compliment that North liked her look because she said, "Oh wow, that's so beautiful," and North said, "No, I ain't say that." This child.
okay.
So North's notes, in case you guys are wondering. So we know that the Met Gala dress was like the pearl ensemble thing. I don't know what she had going on, but whatever. North said that the pearls had too many gaps, the pearl strings. Daniel and Kim said that they felt the same way. And then North said, "You look like a little Hawaiian girl.
Oh.
The pearls look fake." Kim stopped her immediately and says, "No, these are very real, very expensive pearls." Then North says it looks kind of beachy, but the pearls look fake, like they came from the dollar store. Uh, then she goes on to say the diamonds ruined it. Critique, critique, critique. So she says that her favorite look, North, says that her favorite look was the water drip one from what year? 2021? It was like that
Possibly.
wet look one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they go over all the other Kim dresses that she's worn, the couch one with the flowers,
Yeah.
Balenciaga looks and things like
Yeah.
that.
So, does how does North know about the dollar store? Um,
That was my first
her
second.
mom's a billionaire. I don't
Yeah.
think they shop at the dollar store, but hey, good thing she knows.
Yeah.
I have like two conflicting thoughts when it comes to that. On the one side, or on the one hand, I think it's pretty amazing that she's very creative and that she has this kind of seemingly natural talent for, fashion and for all of this or whatnot. And I think it's great that she's very open and very honest about what she says and what she thinks and all that. On the other hand, it seems a little much, just because it's like, these designers and everything, I'm sure they're not taking her like seriously, but this is all being recorded. So it's there for posterity and all that. And I can't imagine that having a 9-year-old basically say that your pearls look like they're from the dollar store, or that your whole look is reminiscent of Hawaiian chic is like, you know, the nicest thing. And yes, later on, Kim kind of talks to her about all that, and it's like a teachable moment. But, you know, some things I feel like should be more so in private. And granted, we're Latinas, so all we had was our moms give us a look and we knew to shut up. So these are different parenting styles.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my take.
Well, on social media, we saw like a lot of North's opinions, and we'll talk about it later when she went in on Pete saying, you're going to the Met, not to the dollar store.
Yeah,
Um, that was kind of funny to me, but I didn't know it was going to be so heavy North centric video, kind of episode. And I think I know it's going to sound rough. I don't mean it, but I kind of mean it. I think she was obnoxious. I just don't think I don't understand why Kim, like you said, would have her, talking smack about these designers, pieces. We already know that, whatever they say, it transcends throughout like the world. That could affect the designers' brands and things like that. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was funny. I think it was like very mean, and I'm glad Kim pointed that out later. Um, but I don't think children should be giving those kind of opinions like that. I think maybe in private, maybe, of course, to your family because you have that, relationship, but not the whole world to see. I think it looked obnoxious to me. Um, did she mean something? No, but still, perception.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we grew up a certain kind of way. Our parents, taught us certain behaviors, and the things that we say and do in front of strangers was very much, like monitored.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, I mean it's a different generation. Who knows? Maybe, that's what it is now, or that's how parenting goes now. I don't know. But I can see how, it can be perceived negatively and whatnot. I mean, she's still a kid. At the end of the day, she's still a kid, and she's got so much growing up to do. So hopefully, that all gets a little bit balanced out.
But this episode also showed, I think, Kim's ultimate plan for North taking over, keeping up with the Westes, the Disiks, the
Jenners,
Barkers, the Kardashians. Who else? The
Websters,
the
Thompsons.
North is gonna be the leader because she's
Oh
the outspoken
yeah,
Kim Kanye perfect combination.
yeah, for sure,
You know.
for
And
sure.
we see the stark difference with P, where she was like, Dad, don't date 10-year-olds or like 20-year-olds. Go to the gym. Like, she's like more chill.
So,
North
yeah.
is too live for my liking. But if she likes it, I love it.
True.
Let's see. Next episode, next section. Let me combine stuff. Okay, so Kendall is trying on her Met look. Kylie loves her look and is giving Kendall, a whole bunch of compliments. And Kendall is wearing a Marc Jacobs number. So regarding Kim's Met look, Kim says that she doesn't care if she's uncomfortable. She only cares about how she looks. North says Kim looks like the moon. I don't even know what that means.
No.
And Kim thinks that that's a compliment. So the parent moment that we were all talking about, Kim tells North that it's okay to be honest, but do it in a way that it doesn't hurt people's feelings. So she wants her to learn that. Kim says North doesn't lie, but she's trying to teach her that she doesn't need to jump in and annihilate people for no reason.
Yeah.
Um, After all that, North fake surprises Kim with a massage for herself, Kim, and Penelope.
Oh man. Okay. Well, Kendall's look, I actually did like it. Not I wasn't crazy like about the sleeves
Hmm.
or the really high break your ankle shoes, but overall I thought the whole look was like very well put together. It was really cute and I thought it was like on theme, right? Because it was the Karl Lagerfeld theme and everything. So I liked her look. Um Now the teachable moment. Um there was a point where Kim also said it's not like, these people are really taking a 9-year-old's opinion serious or 9-year-old's critique serious. Yeah, sure, she has a point, right? Like most people won't take a child's like words too seriously. However, like we've said multiple times, the internet is forever.
Hmm.
And you never know what can come back, what can be like misconstrued later down the road. So I mean, maybe when she's older, you know her own adult self, and if she wants to voice those things, great. But
Hmm.
being that she's an industry kid, because that's what she is, right? Like she's in the media, she's an industry kid, and clearly is a part of the Kardashians show since North was in plenty of episodes. It's like there's certain things I think that maybe she'll have to like kind of learn, a lot sooner than most kids.
Yeah. Um, I was going to say something. Oh, so I know Kim said, who's going to take a 9-year-old seriously, but I know you can relate. When little kids tell you something and they're being brutally honest, it stings. I'd be like, what you say to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when I have my little niece and she'll like say something outlandish to me, I'm like, what? Like, and she'll
Yeah.
start giggling and running away. Granted, she's 4, but I was like, ouch. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me take a moment. That really hurt. She didn't mean it, but it stings. They're
And even
brutally honest.
stuff that's totally not true. Like my youngest nephew, like, said that I was like, I don't know, from like an alien out of space or something. And I was like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. Like, what? It's like you question yourself for a quick second. Like, these kids, bro, these kids, something else.
I know. So North, I thought she was a little mean with her comments also.
Yeah.
So I think it stings regardless. All right. So next section, we're in LA with Chloe. We see her morning routine with Tutu and Tatum. She says that she makes True's lunches, which I think is kind of weird for a Kardashian to do. They have private everything. So I can appreciate that, She does her lunch. Chloe says that while her sisters are in their chaos in New York, her chaos is at her home with her kids and getting ready for school, which I love that for her.
Yeah.
Chloe finally feels like she has a rhythm with the two kids and she loves it. She says that throughout this year, people have been giving her advice on how to heal and that she needs to go out, go drink, have fun, blah, 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 etc., etc. But she says that she's her happiest when she's with her family and she doesn't want it any other way.
Believe Chloe. Believe the girl. Like, she's been saying all season long what she wants, what she likes, what she doesn't want, what she doesn't like, and people
Mhm.
don't listen. Listen to her. You can clearly, honestly, there's no way you cannot tell that that is literally where she belongs. Like,
Yeah.
she seems so at ease, so comfortable being a mom. And so it wasn't surprising to me that she does the lunches and all that stuff because she seems like that is the type of mom that she is. I
Mhm.
think despite the money, despite the fame and all of that, what her greatest joy seems to be is motherhood, right? Her kids. And when you're doing what makes you happy, it's not a job. So, like, all of that, however chaotic it can be, Tatum about to eat the cat food, running away over here, running away over there, like
Yeah.
all of it, she just seems so at peace, even though it's chaotic. And I love that for her. Like, leave her alone.
You know what people need? A dose of the old Chloe. Chloe needs to curse everybody the F out, and then they'll be like, oh, well, why didn't you say that? Well, you weren't listening. So now I got to talk to you sideways so you can understand. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes
Yeah.
people need the hammer, you know?
You
I'm
are
just
correct.
saying. I am. They're not listening to her. And I think she's very articulate. She's
Yeah.
really expressing how she feels. And people are just imposing their opinions and what she should do. She needs to curse them out. And then they'll listen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right.
yeah. We need a dose of shut the up. That Chloe.
That Chloe.
All right. The next section. So Chloe wants to interview Cece, basically to have like a video capsule so they can look at it, later on in the future. She plans to give it to her sisters. So, this was a very kind of cool story because we haven't heard
Yeah.
this side. And we don't really know that much about Cece. So Cece is her dad's first cousin and she has all the Kardashian, like the real Kardashian deets,
Yeah.
not the siblings, the ones that we know. So
Right.
Chloe says that her dad used to record everything, and that's great. So that's what's
Yeah.
inspired all of this. So they basically go into the family history. Apparently, Helen Kardashian, the Kardashians' grandma from the dad's side, was a fixture on Rodeo Drive.
Oh,
People bow down to her, and that was Cece's mentor. So, in case you wanted to know, this has been going on for generations, apparently.
apparently.
Bowing down to the Kardashians. Cece recalls when Robert Kardashian Sr. and Chris got divorced, Helen called Cece asking her to fix it. Helen said that no one can talk to Chris, and Cece said she couldn't do that because she wouldn't be able to talk to the kids. So Courtney, Chloe, Kim, and Rob. So basically, Cece was ousted from
Yeah.
the Kardashian family, and yeah, nobody talked to her, which I thought was really sad. Um, Robert Kardashian Sr. stopped talking to Cece as well, and he was
Yeah.
furious up to the day that he died. Cece says that that's her biggest regret. She went against the Kardashians, and she wasn't supposed to do that. Cece recalls Helen confronting Chris and telling her that she's worked so hard and that Chris ruined the family. The Kardashian castle has crumbled.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. In-laws, man.
Like, shout out to Cece for being ride or die to Chris. Cause man, and obviously past generations, they were a certain way and
Mhm.
had a very different mentality and view of the world. And I'm sure that it was such a blow that, the divorce was because of Chris's cheating and all that. But men do it all the time.
Mm.
And everybody still expects for everybody to get along with him. Case in point, Tristan Thompson.
Mm.
So, you know, it's kind of crazy that essentially the Kardashian empire, the Kardashian legacy is still alive and incredibly thriving thanks to Kris Jenner. Like, as much as Helen Kardashian or Robert Kardashian or whomever, must have hated Kris, it is thanks to her that the name lives on in the way that it does. So it's all very ironic. And then also, I don't know if you were going to mention that later, but what Cece said about Kim sneaking Kris
Mhm.
in right before Robert died, and how they professed their love for one another and everything, and that they were each other's, love of their lives and all that. That was pretty sad because it's like, years or however long of time wasted being angry or being, however upset because of indiscretions or whatnot. I'm not saying that, like, oh, you needed to just forgive and forget, because clearly we've been discussing not to do that with Tristan. But at the same time, it's like with Robert, he obviously had to continue having some sort of co-parenting relationship with Kris because they have kids. So for
Mm.
his mom, the Kardashians' grandmother, to not, kind of co-sign on that, it's pretty unfortunate, especially to ICC out like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's so sad, and you could tell that Cece was sad about the fact that Robert never forgave her for choosing Kris. Um, but again, it's the irony of ironies that, like, the Kardashian castle that crumbled was rebuilt brick by brick by Kris Jenner.
Mm. And
Wild.
just to go back to your point about Tristan, we didn't say we don't forgive and forget. Tristan is just a repeat offender of his stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if this K girl, what's her name?
Chloe.
Chloe. If Chloe wanted to forgive him the first time, I mean that's her business. Ultimately, she could, she couldn't. But Tristan has been disrespectfully cheating at this
Yeah,
point, like embarrassing her 3, 4, 5 times. Like
exactly.
that's why we can't forgive and forget him.
Right.
And not we actually can't forget it, but we can forgive. This one we can't with him.
Yeah.
But Cece, yeah, she was very sentimental. I kind of felt
Yeah.
that.
I felt bad
It
for her.
was it was sad to me. All right, next section. Chris is in LA meeting with Brian Grazer to discuss having a documentary about who? Any guesses? About her.
Yeah.
So, nothing is a coincidence at this point.
No, of course.
Brian says that Chris is the architect of the whole Kardashian empire. And,
Yes.
well, she is.
Yeah.
And Chris says that their lives have been documented on the show for over 15 years, but this is a different kind of thing. It's her story, things that people wouldn't know. So we already got a glimpse of stuff we didn't know with Cece. So I'm wondering what we'll know on this documentary or what she'll reveal.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna still be very much glossed over. Um, it's one person's perspective, and at the end of the day, like we've said multiple times before, there's always three sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. So, I mean, Chris is going to definitely give her side of the story. I don't know that there's going to be much we don't already know about. Um, but it'll be interesting, and I'm sure people are going to watch it anyway. We're going to watch it because we got to cover it. So, um,
How
but
about no, I don't want to watch it,
that's fine. Don't watch it.
but I will.
But I know you will. Hmm.
All right, next section. We're back in New York. Kim, Kendall, and Kylie, they're getting ready for the Met. It's Kim's 10th Met Gala. Can you believe that?
Nope.
She went from, Kanye's +1 to her 10th Met Gala.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendall is concerned about her height in those boots. I hated those boots, by the way.
Yeah.
And then we kind of hear again North's commentary and what she thinks about everybody's looks.
Yeah.
She does say that her mom looks beautiful. And what else did North say? She says that she loves Lala's outfit. Shout out to Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton is one of my faves. I just got to throw it out there
Yeah.
right now. She says, of course, the Kardashians looks are her favorite looks. Kendall looks so good. Jared Leto was cringe.
Yep.
And of course, like we said, she hated Pete Davidson's looks. North says, you're going to the Met Gala, Pete, not the gas station. Oh, and also Kim says that North is the new Joan Rivers, which I'm highly offended because I think I am the undiscovered Joan.
Oh my gosh. Shout out Fashion Police.
I know. I missed that show so much. It was so funny.
Hilarious. Well,
What
I
did you
mean,
think?
I don't know. It's
Why do you have to trash Pete like that?
because he does look like he's going to the gas station.
Okay, so we'll continue with the next section
Yep.
before you say something outlandish, little Northy. Okay, so we're back to the convo. Chloe's talking to Cece. Cece, continued the stories and said Helen wanted Chris back in her life on the low.
Right.
She said that Helen was so proud when Chris was on the cover of People magazine. Granted, this is when Chris married then Bruce, now Caitlyn. I don't know why she was so happy, but okay.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Cece said that Kim snuck Chris in at someone's house. I don't know if it was Helen's house or Robert Kardashian Sr.'s house, and said that Chris and Robert said their goodbyes. And she thinks that they professed their love to each other and that they were each other's loves of their lives. And then he passed away. So tragic. Oh my God. I almost cried.
Okay, before we get to the tragedy and the drama,
Shakespearean almost.
oh my God. I think it makes perfect sense that Helen would feel that way because that is how most mother-in-laws that are toxic as hell decide to act. I said what I said. Because it's always a situation in which they do the most to push you away. And the moment you start to live your best life away from them, no. I need some of that shine. Come back. So,
well, now that you're talking about it, makes sense because if she was the vibe, the moment in Rodeo Drive, and everybody bowed down to her,
yeah.
She needs, fame by association at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, as far as like Chris and Robert Kardashian Sr. saying their goodbyes, like I'm glad that they had that moment. That in particular Chris, had that moment. I'm sure that she's mentioned it, that the divorce and all that, the cheating and everything is like her biggest regret. I think it's evident that, she wishes she could have taken all of that back and spent, the rest of her marriage with Robert. But I don't know. I think like I find it like a little hard to believe that they were each other's love of their lives. I think it's like when a person dies, we tend to romanticize things and we tend to like again put them up on these pedestals and these altars and we forget, the bad stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. But, for reality's sake, sometimes it just kind of seems like you're pushing this narrative, right? A la Jada Pinkett Shakur Smith.
Alcina. Don't
Alcina.
forget Alcina.
Can't forget entanglement. So, like, I don't know. I feel like it didn't tug at my heartstrings like that much.
I think for sure that was the love of her life, and she regrets it. The only thing that didn't didn't make it so Shakespearean to me was the fact that she was married to then Bruce, now Caitlyn. I'm like, I just find it sometimes, or a lot of the times, disrespectful.
Yeah.
You had, I don't know how long they were married, over a decade, maybe 2 decades. I don't know. No,
Yeah.
less than two. More than a decade. You were married to then Bruce, now Caitlyn, and you're over here putting another man on such a high pedestal, and you're openly saying,
Yeah.
I regret this and I wish I was with him. Or, let's not forget when she wanted to change her last name back to Kardashian
Oh my
on
god.
Keeping Up. I don't know what season that was.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah.
I feel like, she was just kind of continuously trashing then Bruce, now Caitlyn. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like he's he is mad, and it's obvious why. He probably holds some kind of resentment. Or she holds.
Conspiracy theory alert here.
Me?
No, no, me.
Oh, okay.
Conspiracy theory alert here.
That's weird because you don't do conspiracy theories.
Well, it's just that, like, in discussing this very, topic, so when Caitlyn Jenner transitioned, there was interviews that she did and all these different details that came out, and a lot of people believed that Kris Jenner knew.
Mm-hmm.
And Kris Jenner vehemently denied that. Her family vehemently denied that. I can't recall for certain if Caitlyn ever, said that Kris knew, but if in fact Robert Kardashian is who she still loved and was the love of her life, despite being married to then Bruce Jenner, on some level she had to know something. Because, like, why would you still be with someone who is not the love of your life when you're still in love with someone else? Was it because this person was part of your getting your foot into the entertainment world? Was
Mm-hmm.
it because this person was able to, bring you some money since you were their manager? Was it because this person, basically let you do whatever you wanted? And, maybe you also had other relationships during that time, and so you weren't paying too much attention. But there's also, I believe there was a rumor, of course, all alleged, where Kris Jenner walked in on, then Bruce Jenner wearing women's, I believe, underwear or some kind of
Like
clothing.
a bra or something, yeah.
Yeah. So, ma'am, could it be, right? Conspiracy theory here. Could it
Mm-hmm.
be that she did know something? She just didn't care because then Bruce Jenner was her foot in the door to what she would later create as the Kardashian Jenner empire.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the same way many people believe that she sacrificed Kim with the, private tape of her and Ray J, and that she concocted that whole thing in order to get her daughter to become a star and then all that other stuff. Is it that far fetched to think that maybe she did know that, Caitlyn was Caitlyn back then and she just kept it going for entertainment purposes?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I think we need to watch The House of Kardashian.
Oh no.
We do, because maybe Caitlyn says something that, I
That
know from the
already
clips
made
we've seen.
headlines.
I know, but I know from the clips we've seen that she basically says, Kim was basically plotting on how to be a star.
Right.
So, plotting with the mom. I don't know. I'm just trying to think here.
I mean,
I don't
there's a
know.
lot. that was
I
going
think,
on back then.
yeah, you know, to, yeah, I
Because
think you might
like,
be right. She had to have known if something was off, of
how
course.
many times? How many times did we hear her profess her love for then Bruce Jenner? Like,
Or
and even during certain season, I can't remember which one it was. They weren't living together anymore, and
the most emotion I saw was when they were getting divorced, and she was for real crying or maybe fake crying about it.
yeah,
Um, and I could see that she was, kind of hurt when I guess Bruce or now Caitlyn transitioned and was talking smack and that whole era of it all. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I wonder what the relationship is like with the daughters and all that. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know. But it's strange. It's all very strange. And then let's not forget that like supposedly both, Caitlyn, then Bruce, and Chris had a great relationship with Robert Kardashian. Kylie
Which
and
is weird.
Kendall, yeah, Kylie and Kendall call him Uncle Robert. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a whole lot of stuff going on there.
Well, I mean, I have nothing else. All right, we're almost done, guys. So we're back in New York. Post Met, Kim was like, I find it funny. She had to throw in Bad Bunny's name. She was talking about this train and how they mixed it up, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is Bad Bunny's." And then you see North wearing something. So at this point, I'm unsure if it's Rihanna's, if it's Bad Bunny's, if it's Obama's. I don't know whose train this is at
Right.
this. And then Kim tells North that she needs to have some loyalty because North the snitch told Auntie Kendall that Kim didn't like her look. Kim says when she's talking ish about people, North can't go around saying what she said.
Yeah.
Kid rule 101. Like we got to keep our parents' secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So I thought it was very interesting that she tells North, "We gotta return this to Bad Bunny," and they just walked outside their door, hotel door, and
Mm-hmm.
didn't seem to walk much further. So
Mm.
he was there, but didn't record. Interesting.
It's not within Kendall's 2 year,
I thought
you
it
know,
was 1 year.
no, it was 2 year rule.
Well, I could have sworn it was a 1 year rule.
Then a whole bunch of people will be on the show at this point.
Mm,
I'm not
well,
shading her. I'm just saying.
next section.
All right, last section. So Courtney's at the Blink 182 concert. At this point, Courtney and Travis have told their friends and their family, but they wanted to make it basically internet official, people official. They did mention the name was going to be Rocky 13 if it's a boy, like they didn't know because we never heard a girl name. So it was Travis's idea to break the pregnancy news to the world. At the concert, Courtney reenacted the All Small Things video with the poster saying, "Travis, I'm pregnant." Courtney says that most people got the reference and that it was iconic.
I loved it. It was so cute. And I thought it was hilarious that, they pointed out how people thought like Travis acted surprised or whatever. Because I remember like, why does he seem surprised? Like, hello,
Yeah,
I know you know. But yeah, no, that was really cute. And it was just one of those things where it's like, like I was just really happy for them considering their journey, with fertility and everything. And how you know now they're sharing it with the world, so it was cute. I liked how that all went down.
that was kind of cute and creative. I got to give
Yeah.
it to her. She really does seem happy. I
Yeah.
would have never thought that her and someone like Travis Barker would have like really hit it off, and that's
No.
obviously the love of her life.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
that speaks volumes to, Scott Disick.
Oh
You
no.
know, but it is what it is. He made his mistakes, and she moved on, and
Sure
now she's
did.
happy. So
Yeah.
good for her.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though, if you guys watched other episodes, I kind of low key am one of those people that wanted them back. I know that we've been trashing Tristan about it. I know. I'm a walking contradiction. I get it. But, as the seasons have progressed with this new Hulu rendition, I'm glad that she found stability and happiness and
Yeah.
her calm and, you know, did everything she needed to do to be happy.
Yeah, yeah. Me too. I'm glad she did.
Yeah. So now we just need Scott to find someone that's age
Yeah.
appropriate and
Oh, dang.
can take his jokes.
For real.
All right, guys, that concludes today's episode. Let us know what you think about this episode and all the things that we covered. What do you think about C's revelations about Helen Kardashian and that whole thing? What do we think about Chloe and what should she do so people can like start listening to her? What
No.
do we think about Courtney ripping Trish Trash, a new one basically, in the
Let's
most
clap again.
polite, articulate way? What do we think about that documentary that Chris is going to have of moi, of herself? Let us know what you think in the comments. But that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. You guys are amazing. I just want y'all to know. Y'all have been sharing the video and we're getting more followers, and that's great. Our follow count is kind of low, but our hours are high. You guys just need to subscribe. Please help us out. We're trying to grow, okay? So your friends could be our friends, and we could all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We're on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. Make sure you guys watch our videos on there and our posts, and that you like, you comment, you share, you follow. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you may see some interesting landscapes in one or two of our videos. So yeah, we definitely want to have a little bit more of that going on, interaction and everything, because we enjoy interacting with you guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time with the last episode of this season of the Kardashians, because we all need a break, okay? We can't guarantee we won't cover the Kardashians after that,
Right.
but at least we have the Hulu break.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.